when we first walk in, I have this rug that originally belonged to my mother that she gave me and wasn't using, and it brought along with me to all of my dorms and subsequent apartments. Turning here, I have the bathroom, which has this really lovely vintage tile. I've got a nice little cabinet here to store stuff in with pom-pom tassel that I DIY'd. Turn around, got a neat shower curtain that I got on sale at Urban Outfitters from their home section. And then just a dollar store plastic bin to hold some flossers and baby wipes and air spray. And then this fun Beatles print that's actually a page from Time magazine that I got off eBay as a part of a deal with some other artwork I got from a vendor that I think is kind of fun and water themed for the bathroom shower. And I don't use bar soap, so I just throw all of my jewelry and whatnot in the little soap holder. And then this toothbrush holder I threw in high school, and a sad air plant that is dying. But that's the bathroom. Here in the hall, I've got this over-the-door like coat hanger that right now has all of my, well, my 2 winter coats and then some scarves I like to wear. Ideally, would have had something hanging up on the wall over there. I really liked this like Eames multicolor coat hanger, but to buy it from Herman Miller is like $200, so that wasn't gonna happen. Right here is my little like entryway table. This table, which is really nice, my friend's parents gave to me. They were cleaning out their house and going through stuff and knew that I was moving to an apartment, so they were like texting her photos that she was texting me. She drove it from Detroit to Chicago, and then I drove to Chicago to pick it up, which is really sweet. And then we've got a placemat I got on sale at World Market. Another dollar store plastic bin that just sort of holds all my crap. This is where I set my purse and my glasses. A little raku bowl that I throw my change in. And then a little plate I made in high school that I put my keys in. And then above this here is the phone that's not hooked up to a landline. I just use it to buzz people in. This really beautiful encaustic painting that I got at an art fair in Madison, Wisconsin, from a Wisconsin artist. I'll put her info here, but I had seen it at like the summer art fair around the Capitol Square and loved her work. Didn't end up getting it. She was back at a winter art fair, and I was like, I've been thinking about this for months. It's $50, which is more than I typically spend on art. I wanted to support her, and it's really beautiful, and every day I walk in and see it and it makes me smile. This is by another Wisconsin artist, and he does these really fun like geometric square collages, and this one's of a Diana Ross album cover. This is actually like a greeting card. He prints them out on greeting cards, and I just framed it because I liked it there. I'm moving in to the main room. I have my kind of dining setup, not really. That is an old rug that I took from my parents' basement because they weren't using it. It's actually a kid's desk that I found on Craigslist because I was thinking I was going to use it as like a desk slash vanity maybe. Unfortunately, so he had 2 styles of desk, one that had plastic legs that were actually adjustable, which I should have gone with because this is way too short, especially the height of the chairs that I have. Like my thighs do not scooch underneath the table, but I thought the metal legs were prettier, which they are, but this was supposed to be sort of like just a temporary dining setup. I never ended up getting a real dining table. But those acrylic chairs I also got on Craigslist with a third one. from someone who was moving and had used them on his patio, but they were in good shape. Another one of those World Market placemats, a Turkish trivet that I found at like a tea shop. The salt and pepper shakers are by Hearth and Hand for Target. They originally had some that were like faux Fire King jadeite that I really loved, and I was waiting for them to go on sale, but they either never did or I missed them. But then they came out with this like dark teal color that eventually went on sale that I liked. So I got those. And then these candlesticks were my grandmother's. There's nothing on this wall, as you can tell, except for the circuit box, which I had plans to like just take a canvas or something to cover it up so that it would be easy access if I needed it, but never did that. And I wanted to put like a big rectangular mirror on this wall, but I just never found the right one. Moving over here, here's this just sweet little chair that I got at a garage sale. And it was at like 11 in the morning on a Saturday, and the woman sold it to me for $1. And she was like throwing out all these other crazy cheap prices. And it was weird because normally folks are doing that like, you know, in the afternoon or like on a Sundays when they've like given up and just want to get rid of it. But on a Saturday morning, she sold this to me for $1. And it's not real leather, it's vinyl, but it has the appearance of leather, which is nice, and I think it's sweet just for some extra seating or to plop stuff down on. And here on the window ledge, I've got some plants in a Hearth and Hand planter that my friend sent me in the mail as a housewarming gift through like this company that ships succulents. I've managed to not kill them, and this guy started out as this like really short, squat, sort of flowery looking guy, and he's grown super tall, and like all of the leaves from the bottom fall off and then he just keeps growing up. I can't really take much credit for it because I don't always water him. But yeah, I haven't killed him yet, and I think he needs a name. On this ledge I just keep this vase with a dead flower in it and all of my pens and scissors and whatnot, which I should really go through because I don't need that many. Turning the corner into the kitchen, I've got this cart that I got on clearance at Target that I used to just store some extra food and stuff, and then I use it to dry my dishes because I don't really have much counter space for doing that. And above it, I've got some like 3M Command removable picture ledges, and I stuck 2 of them together and just hung up some artwork. So I've got a print by the Detroit Wood Type Co. for Eastern Market Flower Day. I don't know if you can tell, but there is like this metallic gold ink that they use, which is really neat. Got that in like, it's probably 2013. My grandfather and great-grandfather were both architects, and this is a sketch from like an inlay on the face of a pew, and that's been in my room since I was growing up. This is by an artist named Jody Lynn Doodles, and it's a bunch of landmarks from my hometown in Michigan. And then I got this at an event called Noel Night in Detroit by a woman who was an art student at Wayne State University, and I love the imagery of pomegranates. But yeah, just to add some art and color into the kitchen. But moving into the kitchen, I've got this rug here that I picked up at Target for $2. It just has a fun, simple pattern. It's a little dingy, but what's nice about it is you can just like throw it into the wash because it's not super like thick or plush, and it washes really easily, which I like to do a lot. On this wall here, I just got these like gold command hooks. Put 4 of them up in a row for my oven mitt, pot holder, apron, and a dish towel. And this is probably my favorite part of the kitchen, is this little built-in where I keep wine and olive oil and vinegar, and then some of my ceramic dinnerware. So I studied art in college and sort of concentrated on ceramics, and then for a year out of school, I worked as an assistant to a ceramic artist. And part of that was helping with like setup and takedown for art shows and art fairs. And when we would go to art fairs, she wouldn't need me as much during the actual fair. She could man the booth by herself pretty well. So I could go around and explore the city, but I also loved walking around and talking to all the artists who were selling their stuff. So that's where a lot of this comes from. The only ones that I've made are like these ones with the faux like salt glaze that was actually gas fired, but got this at a thrift store actually, and this I got when I was studying abroad in Granada, Spain. Got a little poodle back there that I got at a ceramic like collector's show. It was, I don't know, $5 and I thought it was sweet. But the rest of these I just sort of found at art fairs, different art ceramic studios, and I really love using ceramics like functionally. I think it's so great to just integrate art into your daily life, and it really makes you happy when you use it. So that's all there. And then in front of the sink, there's no like tile backsplash, but my landlord put a mirror here, which actually doesn't make it feel super cramped when you're cooking or washing dishes, which is great. I don't know that I would do that again, but I don't know, I think it's super clever. And here's a little tile that used to hang up in my nonna, my Italian grandmother's kitchen, that I now have. Got this little marble tray I got at Home Goods with a salt cellar that I made. It doesn't really, the lid doesn't fit snugly. This is a fun salt-fired spoon rest. That was a collab between House Industries and the Eldrith Pottery. I think they're out on the East Coast, but there's a whole exhibit about House Industries at the Henry Ford Museum in my hometown, and I waited until all the cool pottery collabs in the gift shop were on sale and then went and bought that. But it makes me happy. I think it's a really pretty glaze. And then moving into the living room, I guess the biggest thing is this beautiful rug that I love. That had belonged to my aunt, I think my Aunt Patty. My dad has 7 other siblings. They all grew up in Detroit, Michigan, but he's the only one left in Michigan. And so when she moved to California in the 80s, she couldn't bring the rug with her. So it sat in my parents' garage for like 30 years. And then a couple years ago, when I first moved into an apartment, my dad got it cleaned up and was like, you need to use this. It hasn't been used and it's really cool. So I'm pretty lucky to have that. I think it has so many beautiful colors in it, and it sort of ties together all of my like random inherited and thrifted hand-me-down furniture, and it's kind of a blessing that it really helps sort of bring everything all together and establish a palette. But this couch here originally belonged to my grandmother, and it was like an avocado green 70s velvet couch. When she passed in 2000, my aunt took it and she had it reupholstered in this fabric, which isn't particularly offensive, it's just not my favorite. But when she decided she no longer wanted it, I was not going to say no to a free couch. And right now I've got it styled with this like petite pillow from World Market. I think the yellow pillow is also from World Market, and the pink one's one I got on clearance at Urban Outfitters ages ago. I think it's kind of weird that I have 2 lumbar pillows. It's just sort of thrown together. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into how to style it with pillows yet, but I eventually should. It's nothing special, nothing to write home about. Here on the window ledge, I have a planter that I made with some more succulents I've managed to not kill, and some pumpkins from October that actually haven't died, so I've just kept them. This was a hanging macrame planter that I DIY'd, but I killed the plant, so right now it's empty. And I dip dyed it, but the sun has sort of bleached the pigment on that, so I'm not sure what I'll end up doing with that. And then here is a bookcase that I got at Target for like 25 bucks. And I did color code all of my books Just because I think it's fun to look at. It's not like I have thousands of books and it's hard to find the one I'm looking for. I just think it makes me smile when I see it. But got this little dog statue my friend gave me for my birthday back in elementary school. Some really fun vintage glitter that I found at an estate sale. I just think the packaging is really neat and I love the old glitter. I haven't used it for anything yet. I don't think I will. It's just a neat knickknack to have around. This really cool raccoon pot that I got in Berea, Kentucky when I went there for an alternative spring break in high school. And Berea is a really cool town. They have an arts college that is free for most students. They have a lot of work-study programs, but they have lots of galleries where they sell like student and alumni and local artist work. And I, in high school, had never seen raku before, which is the technique that was used to fire the glaze that's on this piece. And I just thought it was like the most magical thing ever. I had no idea how they did this magic metallic rainbow glaze. So I bought it and it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $20. And I've had it ever since. And then this little Madonna statue my dad brought back for me from Spain because he's a high school Spanish teacher and he hasn't in like the last 10 years, but he used to take students there a lot. Some old matches I found at an antique shop. I just thought the books were cool. This really old like pencil, like it's a pack of pencils that I found at a thrift store that makes me really happy. And then this is a voodoo doll for creativity that my mom got for me when we were in New Orleans. And I think you're supposed to like set intentions for it every day, so I'm not sure if it's bringing me any good fortune in terms of creativity since I don't do that daily. This side table I got at Home Goods and it's covered in like this sort of brassy foil and I really love it. I got it on clearance. It does have a nick, but if you turn it you won't see that. I had put a planter here stupidly so it's like tarnished the brass but only in that spot and I tried to cover it up with a candle but that doesn't work. Got some coasters that I got when I was in Granada, Spain, although they're not the nice ones. This is actually like cork paper that's taped on like cheap wood. But I still like them and they've held up. And then I think only one of these is like two are true coffee table books. Craft and Art of Clay is actually a textbook and Picture This is more of like a sort of graphic novel. Not even a novel though. I don't know, look up Linda Berry, she's cool. And this was part of a series of sculptures I did in school. That's my favorite, so I brought it with me. And then backing up, this is my really fun mid-century modern kind of rose goldy champagne sectional that I got for free on Craigslist. That's a fun story in another video I plan on posting. But I cleaned her up and got her for free and she's styled with some Tracy Ellis Ross for JCPenney pillows and then the blue one is from I think Project 62 on Target. I got those both on Black Friday a year ago. I think this is also, this I think is a Nate Berkus lamp I got on clearance at Target that I tied a black ribbon around because I liked the ribbon and didn't want to get rid of it. And then in the middle here, I've got this black leather ottoman that used to belong to my grandparents that was sitting in our basement. If you can sense a theme here, my parents' basement back home had a lot of furniture from both of their parents' homes. They just ended up with it because my mom lived like a 2-minute drive away from her parents. And my dad was like the only sibling still left in Michigan. So a lot of their furniture ended up in our basement and then I got to pick through it all and decide what to take. It has a rattan Opal House tray on it that I got on sale at Target. And then here is the CB2 acrylic peekaboo coffee table that I was like obsessed with for 2 or 3 years. And I was scouring Craigslist for it, and I found one. I was able to talk the woman down to $100, which is still like a lot of money. This is probably like the most expensive piece of furniture I've paid for, aside from my bed frame. But normally they're like $280, plus there aren't any CB2s around me, so you would have to like pay even more money for shipping. And I had like wanted one for years, so it was really exciting to find and get it for that discounted price. Just got it styled with this Hearth and Hand tray that I got on sale at Target, with these cool felt coasters my cousin gave me, Dawa horse, and the candle. And then down here are these really fun like green baskets that are from the Detroit Parks and Rec department that I use to hold magazines and newspapers before I recycle them. And I got these at a flea market the summer that I was working for the city of Dearborn, which is a suburb of Detroit's Parks and Recs department. So I love the way the basket looked and that it sort of connected to my job that summer. My parents remember using these for like the city of Detroit pools. They were like the baskets you would throw your clothes and whatnot in. But that's pretty fun. And then here is a buffet that I got at an estate sale. It is missing, well, I have that one missing knob, but all of these knobs here aren't original. There's actually like a second empty hole on all of them. They originally would have had something that looked like that. So I don't know what happened to them. And the woman who was selling at this estate sale somehow hadn't realized, or she was playing dumb, that they didn't have the original hardware. So I talked her down to either 40 or 60 bucks on it. It was originally 120, I think. So that was really exciting. Although, I don't know, I had plans to like change the knobs and like maybe paint it, DIY something, but the drawers just smell awful. I think it was a smoking home. They reek of like smoke or something, and I've thrown like so many boxes of baking soda in there, and it doesn't seem to do anything. So I think I'll get rid of it. But well, it's my table right now, and some other pottery and a cool dish that I got Barcelona. But above it is some artwork. So starting on the left, I've got a sketch of a stained glass window, if I can avoid the glare, because my dad's mom's family were stained glass makers in Detroit. And this basket that I found for $2 at the thrift store that I like. This is a Time magazine cover with Anne Margaret, the actress, on it, and this is like a promotional shot for the movie Bye Bye Birdie, which is like my favorite movie of all time, and so I love that. It makes me smile. So just happens to have a story about Detroit in it. But I got this cover, well, it's the whole magazine I got on Etsy and then framed. This was a little mosaic that I made for like a art history class on folk artists. And then this is something my godfather gave me for my college graduation. It's a stencil that was used for stained glass from our family's old company over top of his stamp collection, and I really love it. So I framed that. This was an old color study I did in like the one oil painting class I took in art school. And then this is a painting that was done by my great-grandfather. The story was when he retired from architecture, he took up painting and he set up a gallery show for all of his work. And at the end of the night, no one had bought anything, so his son went in and bought it all up. And now my dad is the proud owner of all of these sort of interesting paintings by my great-grandfather, but this was the one that I liked the most of all these old women on a boat. And then I've got my record collection. The little record table came from my Zia, or my great aunt's house. And there's some overflow, so I've thrown more records into this just knit box that I got from Home Goods, I think. Moving into the bedroom, I've got this really fun mid-century piece that came from my grandmother's house that had been in her garage actually for a while. I had plans to get some sort of hanging jewelry storage and had laid out a lot of my earrings on this placemat. I never did get a cool hanging jewelry mirror, but I like them all laid out so I can just sort of see them and remember to wear them. Then I've got some prints that I got at art fairs. My Tiffany silver polishing kit. When I went to New York for the first time, I went into the Tiffany store and this was one of the cheapest things I had. I think it was $25 or $30 for a silver care kit. But excellent customer service, even if you're just buying a silver polishing kit, let me say. This little jewelry container that my mom gave me when I was a kid. This is a fun mirrored tray I got at a flea market. I don't really know what to do with it. It doesn't feel right here, but right now it's just holding my lint roller and deodorant. And here I have pictures of my mom's mom, my dad's mom, and then me with my parents when I was a little kid. This crystal with a unicorn that I think the Tooth Fairy gave me when I was 7, and a dried flower. And then this is a rocking chair that the story goes my uncle bought from a family across the street when he was a kid and fixed up. I was sitting in my parents' basement. I had plans to fix it up again, but never got around to it, so yeah. And on the window ledge, I've got a tray from IKEA with some bowls that I've thrown with just more jewelry. The side of my bed, I've got this IKEA side table with this really pretty Kate Spade lamp that I got from Home Goods. And I don't know, it's not really styled. I've just got a water bottle and lotion and chapstick and whatnot, and some books in my retainer. This bed I had seen in an Emily Henderson video where she was collabing with Target. And I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor for my first 3 months here because I was holding out until I found the perfect bed frame, and this to me was it. And I thought it worked well with this comforter set that I had gotten at IKEA. I went to IKEA a year ago planning on just getting some white sheets and ended up with this fun sort of Scandinavian traditional pattern, I think. And then I decided that this bed frame worked well with it. I found this fun, colorful plaid pillow at Home Goods. And this is a Project 62, super fuzzy blanket. And then this plaid one from IKEA. And I've got the side table that I got on clearance at Home Goods that's just covered in all the various books that I'm reading. That is my laptop charger cord. But let me see if I can get a good sort of view of my bed. But I don't know, maybe the plaid quilt at the bottom is a little too much. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think it's a fun combination of color and pattern and texture, but maybe it's a little overwhelming, especially with the mismatched side tables. I've been thinking about painting the wood one, doing something different with it. We shall see. And finally, sort of the biggest thing in my apartment, it's kind of hard to tell with the glare from the window, is this sketch of St. Lucy that comes from the stained glass makers in my family. My parents got this framed for my graduation, which was very generous and sweet, and she's kind of an interesting saint. Part of how she was martyred was that her eyes were gouged out of her head, and she's always usually depicted with them on a plate, but she also still has her eyes there. But I really love this sketch. You can see where they're noting like the different colors that they're gonna use in different panels. Like you see blue and white, and it says pink there, but it's very fun. She is a pain in the neck to move around different places, but she's actually surprisingly light. I didn't need like any super crazy rig to hang her up. So thank you for coming along with me through my tour of my apartment. It's definitely still and forever a work in progress. Like I don't have curtains, don't have a rug in my bedroom. You know, there's that wall that I want to mirror. I don't know if I'll ever get around to any of that before I move again, but I'm happy with where it's at now, and I like having room to still play around and move with things and figure out what works for me. That is something I really enjoy. Even if it's never completely finished, I think that's okay. And I love that I'm surrounded by things that bring me joy and have some meaning and good memories, whether that be, you know, connection to a family member or friend, or just the fact that, you know, I got a really great deal on it and bargain hunted for it, and that makes me happy because I'm that kind of person. But if you're interested in more stuff like this, let me know. I'm planning on posting a video about how I got and cleaned up my free Craigslist couch. And yeah, I had fun. I hope you did too, and thanks for coming along.